TiE Chats, hosted by Sunandini Verma, with today's special guest, Emile Maamary.
Thank you to our listeners for tuning in today. I'm your host, Sunandini Verma. Our guest today on TiE Chats is Emile Maamary, the CMO of SteadiWear. Amir, it's an absolute pleasure to have you in conversation with us today. I'm so excited to chat with you and learn a little bit more about SteadiWear. So first things first, tell us about the company and the product and how it came about.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me and giving a shout out to the company. So a few years back, 2015 to be precise, Mark and I had just graduated from university, and we were living close by to one another when he came into my house and said, one of my family members recently got diagnosed with essential tremor. And I said, I also have a family member who recently got diagnosed with essential tremor. And so we started looking for different solutions in the market, medications, surgeries, what have you, assistive devices. And we realized there wasn't really something that really caught our eye. So Mark was, at the time he had just graduated from a structural engineering background at U of T, and he said, you know what, I'm going to give this a shot. So he's like, I'm going to build one for my relative. And I said, okay, if it works, maybe you can build one for mine too. And so we joined the Impact Center at the University of Toronto, where we had access to prototyping activities, and that's where we built our first prototype. I think 2 years and a half later, we started with the testing, and in 2019 we launched our first product. It became the world's first battery-free glove to stabilize hand tremors and Parkinson's and essential tremor. Since then, we've sold out of that product and are very excited to launch a new one in the next 30 or so days.
That's really exciting. Why don't you tell me a little bit what you can about the new product? I'd love to hear more. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be my pleasure. So we reduced the size of the product significantly. Prior to the new design, the device stretched from here till here. The new version is only covering your forehand. It's around 30% lighter, 30% cheaper, and just as effective from what we've seen, if not better. And we're aiming to tackle a larger sample size, a larger population with this product. And so we've made it lighter, we've made it cheaper. We followed all the feedback that we received from our early bird customers and early adopters, and we're very excited to launch the next version in the next 30 days.
That's really exciting. I love to see people take the MVP and really do a test product and then pivot accordingly. I think it makes such a big impact in the actual product and its journey going forth. So you now, as a business owner, how is your day-to-day routine? Are you overwhelmed? Do you wear many hats, or are you very hyper-focused on what it is that you need to do?
I'm currently registered in a part-time executive MBA too.
Okay.
So juggling that on a personal note, juggling that with my business has been filling up my slots. And I would say I've started outsourcing a few things, really on the personal side rather than the business side. I've got since barbershops are open again, I've gone back to having somebody cut my hair for me. I've gone as far as outsourcing half my meals to a caterer, or one of those companies that cooks meals. So as you can imagine, lots on our plate and not enough time to go through it all. On a business front, I would say things are ramping up very nicely. In the next 30 days, we will be expecting a new product launch in the form of a pre-order campaign, which will be available on our website, which will also be revamped in the next 30 days. We're expecting video testimonials. As you can imagine, that hasn't been very easy because of the current pandemic we are in. Previously, for the first version of the product, we had customers coming in and trying the device in our labs. If something went wrong, we could reiterate there and then.
Right.
Because of the current circumstances, we've had to build each early adopter their own prototype and ship it to them and hope that they'll follow the instructions in a duly fashion. We shipped them last week, and we've already gotten great feedback on a world of different activities that we've never tested in a lab. So, as you can imagine, very valuable.
Mhm.
However, because the product is not in the lab with the customer, the iterations will be taking longer. Like
Mhm.
we've received feedback on adjustment for um, the glove, and we cannot tell, is it something that will be needed for a larger population size, or is this just a specific need of this specific customer? So things like that. We've we've not been able to test because we're testing on a smaller sample size. What we also did was we built a tremor simulator. Mark,
Okay.
Mark and Leonardo, our designer, they built a simulator to you can wear it on your arm, and it simulates what it's like to have a tremor. So the cool thing is that we were able to test the device in these lab settings, but we were not able to test it on a customer in a lab setting. Using that simulator, we were really much better equipped to
Mhm.
tackle the early adopters and first customers or testers.
I mean, I think that will help with global expansion too, I'm sure, so that people actually understand. Not everybody understands what that would feel like or the importance of it or how important your product really is until they can maybe even feel it. That's really exciting. Very cool. Speaking of the changes that you guys went through last year, how else did the pandemic affect your business? Did you have to pivot? And of course, the component of having an in-house team doing all the labs versus now remote working, how has that impacted your business?
Well, we've been very fortunate to have set up a MyTax partnership with a Vibration Labs at UBC prior to the pandemic. So we
Great.
really took advantage of the fact that one, we were starting to run low on product for the first version. So we said, you know what, are we sure we want to reorder another batch of this, or should we take this time? When the world slowed down a little bit, should we take this time to rebuild a new product?
Mhm.
And that's exactly what we decided to do. Fortunately, we had the runway to do so with the support of the federal and provincial government's programs. We were pretty well equipped to build what we needed to build in the form of a new product in the timeline that was available.
Mhm.
So we did the best we could with the resources we had. As you can imagine, we lost a lot of access to our product, to our website. Sorry, to our to our office, and as a result, we all went remote. We've adapted pretty well. The whole team has. We have weekly meetings. We have quite a few breakout rooms in those different meetings, and yeah, I'm pretty confident that we can continue to work remotely and accelerate our growth despite the couple of sour.
Perseverance.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly it. Perseverance. That's exactly it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you take it and you pivot, right?
you got to keep pushing. Yeah, even like I would say we pivoted it from a technology standpoint. We have adopted a new technology using the new product, and we did require a new patent filing for that, which is still pending, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. As I mentioned, we accommodated the needs of the customer, and if you don't do that, are you really launching a new product?
Of course, of course. And of course, we're connected through TiEQuest. So, how was your experience at TiEQuest? Tell us a little bit about your journey with TiEQuest. How did you hear about it? And how was your overall experience?
It was actually great. I should shed light on the fact that prior to SteadiWear, I had competed in a Thai quest competition with a company called Blank Link,
Okay.
and they were final. They were, I think, they were in like the one of the final rounds in 2015 or six. Sorry, in 2014 to be precise. And
Mhm.
the Thai quest experience for SteadiWear was a game changer. Taking part in the premier competition in Canada afforded us to the privilege of exposure. It allowed us to have intimate interactions with a larger network of investors, mentors, advisors to our business, some of which we're still in touch with today. Those interactions took our company to the next level. and completing the development of our technology, adjusting our business strategy, eventually securing an investment just 1 year after we participated. So that leads some of the notable highlights since participating in TiE 2020 TiE Quest 2020. After participating in the competition, we completed development of our new product. We closed the seed round, and we're hoping to launch that new product in the next 30 days. I would recommend this program to any startup without reservations. Um, it's an industry agnostic program, and I definitely believe it sheds light on the right technologies at the right time.
Thank you. That's great feedback for us and hopefully for our listeners as well. Where do you see SteadiWear in the next 5 years? What's next for you guys?
I, given that we have a partnership with a lab out of an academic partnership with a lab, I would like to see the company, you know, utilizing our technology for different applications, developing newer technologies, maybe even a third iteration of our device. Um, those are the next targets we would like to hit. We would like to scale this product globally. We would like to expand out of North America and focus on the European market,
Mhm.
the Asian market, and of course the rest of the populations that we can service. So I think that in the next 2 to 3 years, we'd like to see the SteadiWear products um, distributed across different geographic locations, and hopefully roll out a couple of different products in different industries.
That's really exciting. Now, I know that you'd shared some exciting news with me earlier, so I would love if you would want to share with our listeners some of the exciting things that are going on right now and any special announcements that you have.
Well, yeah. I'll recap what I said earlier. We just closed the seed round, and we're hoping to launch the second iteration of our product in the next 30 days. We just hired a new employee. Her name is Juliet. She's working with us on a part time capacity and hoping to bring her on full time. And last but not least, expect a new website in the next 30 days too. So I'll leave you with that. If you'd like to reach out, LinkedIn or info@steadywear.com. And lastly, if you'd like to drop us a line, our company phone number is 905-599-5392. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Emile. It was such a pleasure chatting with you, and we'll catch up soon. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you so much and have a great day.